Right. Hey guys, I wanted to jump in and talk about why protein in the first meal, and I'm going to talk a little bit about insulin as well, right? Because I think there's lots of confusion and lots of bad science around insulin, right? And why and how it works and all the rest of it. So it's going to be a quickie-ish. So I've got a client coaching call shortly. But anyway, so Adele's question, first of all, was why to have protein in the first meal. All right, let's break it down. There's a couple of reasons. So, first of all, the biggest and probably the most important nutrient from a fat loss point of view is going to be protein. Um, there's a couple of reasons for that. That's going to be satiety, so it keeps you full. It takes a while to go through the stomach. So it's going to keep you fuller for longer. Number two, it's involved in the repair and obviously tissue breakdown. So if you're trying to retain lean muscle mass, which should be of the biggest importance for you, then that's going to be really key for you, right? So there's a couple of things there. And also it has what we call a thermic effect. Okay, so what that means is when you um, digest protein, there is energy being used to break it down, right? Carbs and fats have something as well, but they're just not as big. Okay, so about 10 to 15% of the energy in your protein is actually being used to break it down. The other thing that always gets neglected is that um, what no one talks about is hormones and a lot of your enzymes are made from protein. So if you want all that stuff to work properly, you're going to have enough protein. All right. So why have it in the first meal of the day? Well, when you look at studies and just my own experience of coaching women who are trying to lose body fat, most women are on a carb heavy diet. Okay. So what happens is a couple of things. They're not able to retain muscle mass. They don't feel full after meals. And the science is very clear. You need about 1.1 to 2.2 grams, kilograms, so grams of protein per kilogram body weight. So here's the problem with that, right? So let's say you weigh about 120 pounds, you might need about 120 grams of protein. But it's very difficult to get that amount if you only wait until your lunch and dinner. So the whole point of it is to say, right, we're gonna have it in the first meal of the day, so we get about 30, 35 grams there, get some more in lunch, and you get some more in dinner. Very simple, maybe a snack through the day. So that's number one. Number two, when you have protein as the first meal of the day, it actually reduces your appetite. So there's quite a few studies coming out now saying what we all the stuff about intermittent fasting wasn't probably what we thought. What actually has happened is when you have a high protein meal in your first meal, you may intake about 300 calories less than if you didn't have a high protein breakfast. It's quite scary, right? So obviously the premise of losing fat is a calorie deficit. So anything that can help you reduce your calorie intake through the day is going to be a good thing, right? So that's really, really important. So all the studies show, and just my own experience of working with women, I've had a lot of women who start off with, they come to you like, Greg, I've been intermittent fasting, can't lose weight. It wasn't the fasting that was the problem. It was just they didn't have enough protein in their diet. Okay. Therefore, they weren't getting full. Therefore, they would eat more calories. Really simple. All right. So let's just jump onto insulin very quickly. If you've got questions, ladies, drop them below and I will answer them. Let me just have a little check because I'm on a different program, so I can't see any comments. Let's have a little look. Cool, there's a couple. Okay, cool. Seema, Sita, shall I say? All right, awesome. So yeah, so for Sita, yeah, you want to be aiming for about 70 grams, 60, 70 grams of protein, you'll be good to go. Obviously, when I work out protein needs for clients, I take into account how they train, any other health issues that they might have, etc., etc. So It's not just a one calculation. You have to think about other things as well. So Deborah then commented on the same post. If you haven't seen the post, it was like the 5 mistakes that most women make when they're trying to lose weight. And there was some really good discussion. And Deborah mentioned about insulin. Okay, so she was saying that one of the three reasons is that protein doesn't spike insulin, so therefore it's really good for you. Now, first of all, I want everyone to be very clear on this. Every food you eat spikes insulin, okay? Because that's how it's meant to work. Insulin goes up, okay? Your cells that need taking nutrients, open up because of insulin. Insulin says knock knock. I'm giving you a very simplified breakdown here. Insulin says knock knock. Can we let insulin into the cell? Okay. So it's not that protein doesn't spike insulin, it might not spike it as much. Okay. And here's the thing, like, we want to be really careful about how we talk about insulin. I think it gets confused. I think people we get bits and stuff from it. And when I used to work at UCLH Hospital, I used to run endocrinology for a time, and I spend a lot of time with the clinicians, and they will say, yeah, people are really confused about insulin. Okay, I know all these people on the internet saying, oh, it's your fat storing hormone. Yes, one of its functions is if there is too much glucose in the blood, it helps to get it to the liver, and if not, then into fat cells. Yeah, of course. However, if you don't have enough insulin, you die, which is why type 1 diabetics have to inject with insulin. Yeah. So it's really important to just be a bit careful around insulin and refined carbs and stuff. Now, here's a big thing, and often that we don't realize, is that most people don't eat carbs, sorry, don't eat highly refined sugars, carbs, etc. Just by themselves. Okay, so if you get a bagel, you like to put some fat on it, right? So you're going to put maybe some butter, let's say ham. You might put some cheese on it. So the bread is going to get mangled up with all the other things, and that will slow down the amount of insulin that's needed to sort that meal out, because it's already mixed in with the protein, etc., etc. So that slows down it leaving the gut. Okay, so it won't just go straight through like um, a Mars bar. Great one, Mars bar. Remember back in the day, someone was going into a low blood sugar. They'd say have a Mars bar, because a Mars bar is pure glucose, pretty much. So it will get into your bloodstream very quickly. But most people, when we have things like bread, pasta, etc., we're eating it with something else. We're eating it with some fats. We're going to eat it with some protein. So it's not like you're just sitting there going, right, I'm just going to eat pasta. If you do, you're weird. But then we have some fats on it. So the sauce is normally fats in pasta, for example. If you have potato, you're normally going to have protein sauce and some fats with it. So then the insulin spike gets lowered a bit. Okay. Because very rarely do we eat carbs by themselves. Very rarely do we, you don't sit there just eating rice. Do you? No, nobody does that. You will normally have something that goes with it. Okay? So that in of itself is what helps to slow down, reduce the insulin spike. Now, here's the problem about insulin that most people don't know and don't understand. The problem with insulin is this twofold. One is that everyone has tolerances to their blood glucose levels. Okay, so some people can tolerate a lot, some people can't tolerate much, etc., etc. That's number one. Number two, the issue is twofold. It's how much insulin is being used to get nutrients into the cell, and how long does that spike stay up? So if the spike goes up, comes down fairly quickly, no problem. Okay, fine, no problem. If the spike goes up and stays high, then you might have a problem. Okay, so that's half of our challenge, is we need to be very careful around the narrative of insulin's bad and all of that stuff. Does that make sense, ladies? Are there any questions that you have? Brenda, question, do you need to train every day? Brenda, I'm going to ask the question and say, what's the goal? So this is where it gets a bit complex. If the goal is fat loss, then what you need to do is hit your calories every day. Obviously, exercise and movement all help. They all help. But I've managed to, I had one client, she lost 28 pounds over about 8 weeks, and she didn't train at all. She had a few injuries, she was getting sorted out, but she really wanted my help. And I said, okay, cool. So let's sort the diet out. And could you go for a walk most days? Like a good 45-minute walk. She was like, yeah, I can do that. So she did. The fat came off. So yeah, there we go. For me, I train about 4 to 5 times a week. I don't train every day. Because there's no need for it for most of my clients. Most of my clients are women who are busy, got families, jobs, etc. The availability of time to train every day is probably too much commitment. But you could, in theory, train for 20 minutes every day. Of course you could. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It just depends on how you're going to train, what methods you're training, what time and availability have you got to train, and how quickly you can recover. Makes sense? Cool. Are there any other questions, ladies? I know there's two ladies watching. Are there any other questions you want me to answer? So, unless there's any other questions, yeah, that's that. Like, I'll just sign out here. I hope this was useful. So, yeah, okay, cool, awesome, Brenda. So, yeah, so just for me, it all depends on the client. Like, and I've done a few videos on how I build training sessions and all that stuff. But it's really key to understand the person. Okay, so Sita says he's been on meds for cellulitis, so not trained every day for the last few weeks. Yeah, like we don't need to train every day. However, the practice of intentional exercise, I'd say between 3 and 4 times a week, is going to be great for your health, great for any goal that you've got. It's like anything, right? The more that you can do it, the more improvement you'll see from it. Yeah, so if you want to get better at squats, then squat more. It's that sort of thing. Are there any other questions, ladies? While you got me for a minute, any questions before I head out? I think I've got a couple of minutes before I have to go and prep for my client call. Any other questions before I dart off? So, ladies, just a reminder: I've put a document into the group so that you can kind of find the best videos, because I realize I've had this group for like I don't know, it must be going on 5 years, and there must be videos and videos and posts galore of everything that's in my head. So if you want those, just comment file FILE below, and I'll get it to you so you can see all the best videos. And I'm just going to update that weekly with as I go through the group and find you all the best videos for all of this stuff. Sita says she wants to squat. Haha. If only, Sita, right? If only. So yeah. Any other questions, ladies, before I head out? Cool. All right. Sita, I'll tag you in it. So I've literally I'm just going to literally every week or so just update when I find new posts. Because I think this is the problem in the world. Like, I think there is too much new information. Everyone wants the new video and the rest of it. And actually, more often than not, I've given the answer before. I've given it in one way, shape, or another. And sometimes, yeah, you have to watch a video a few times. Like, I read books now. I don't buy new books. I'll stop buying new books unless it's got something I really want from it. But what I do is I go back through old books and find out the things that I haven't taken action from, and then go from there. And I think that's half the problem with the world that we live in. Like, you just have to like produce more content, when actually I've answered so many questions for you ladies that you've got like an encyclopedia. Like if you followed it, everything I said, you'd get awesome results. If you follow what I said, you'd get awesome results. So yeah. Can I get results from using, right? So this is a really good question from Brenda. Can I get results from using weights 3 times a week for 15 minutes? And this is the problem with the internet. This is the problem with the internet. Brenda wants me to say yes or no. And here would be my questions to Brenda. What result do you want? That's the first thing. Like whenever I build a training plan for anybody, I'm looking to understand what they're trying to achieve. Are they trying to build muscle? Are they trying to just be fitter? Are they trying to become more mobile? Like there's different things that come up. So Brenda, what do you mean by results? That's my first question. Because results are so different for everybody. Right. Ladies, I'm going to say this. So I think this is a really big one. So toning is this. This is the thing. And I want people to really, and I've been banging on about this for a long time, and I think it's really important. Diet for weight, exercise for shape. Here's what I mean. Your nutrition and your movement and to some extent sleep is what drives things like you losing belly fat, removing the fat from around your different parts of your body. Okay. So with my clients, we don't use training for fat loss. No, we do not do that. We used the nutrition and make sure they sleep, make sure they get walks in, all that stuff. So we used the diet, so the lifestyle, to get the results from a loss of fat. We use training to increase muscle mass, to get fitter, faster, etc. So, Brenda, in answer to your question, if the goal is to reduce the belly and to tone, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you ladies say tone, what you mean is you want to look defined so that your body fat is low enough for people to see the muscle. Tell me if I'm right. Is that what toned means? Because us fitness professionals, health professionals, we're like confused about this word toned. But in my mind, when you say toned, you want to be able to see the muscles. So the definition of the muscles underneath the layer of fat that covers it. Because generally we all have enough muscle in our bodies, but what happens is let's take abs for a second, right? This hand is going to be abs. So there's a layer of muscle up and down your stomach where your abs are. Above it, there is a layer of fat. Okay, so the layer of fat is from here to here. That's covering it. So what we need to do is get your nutrition to a point where the belly fat goes. Yes, you can do some ab work to grow the muscle, but that doesn't reduce body fat. So I'll repeat this till the cows come home. Diet for weight, so we get the nutrition, sleep, daily movement, hydration to sort out the fat. We get training to build muscle. Now, the other question I'd ask Brenda is, or I'd want to understand is, how heavy are the weights that she's got? What's that? What are those rates? Look in regards to how strong she is, what exercise experience has she got. So I've got ladies, I've had ladies drop 27 pounds, with 3 20-minute sessions a week. But your nutrition is the driver. So Brenda's saying look more shapely. Yeah. So Brenda, what we can, ladies up, we can dress it up in all these words that we want to, right? Shapely, toning, all the rest of it. You want to lose belly fat, you want to lose body fat, and you want the muscle to show. In order to do that, you got to get your nutrition on point. I can't, and I know it's hard because when we look at Instagram, when we look at all these things, what we see is ladies that are lean, toned, etc., doing lots of exercises, but they never talk to you about what they eat. But that is because they can sell you a fitness program, which is great. You'll get fitter, you'll get stronger. Awesome. But if you don't get your nutrition sorted, you won't reveal the muscle underneath. So Brenda, she's got 12 kg kettlebell. Yeah, it's not bad. Again, it all depends on like where your level of strength is, because you know 12 kg kettlebell might be really heavy for some people, might not be. Um, yeah, so yeah, you could with a well-designed training program. Yeah, you can definitely change your body shape. But again, the program has to be well designed because you've got what 15 minutes. So there has to be enough intensity in it and then also the right variety of exercises to hit all the main muscle groups. So yeah, and then with weight loss, fat loss, you're looking at between half a pound to 2 pounds a week on average. You'll be good to go. So yeah, you could do. And I've got kettlebell workouts in this group somewhere. So if you want them, Brenda, just comment kettlebell. It will just remind me to dig them out for you, and you can have a little look on or some of my training programs. Fine. Are there any other questions, ladies? Cool. My pleasure, Brenda. My pleasure. So, Brenda, just comment kettlebell if you want me to tag you in some of my kettlebell videos that I did a while back. But honestly, the biggest thing is always going to be diet. Like if I'm trying to get a client to build muscle, I've got a few clients who are trying to build muscle, who want some more muscle mass, which is awesome. Then training is the driver. Okay, and they're going to lift fairly heavy. They're going to train 3 to 4 times a week with barbells, dumbbells, machines, whatever. If the goal is body fat, then diet is the driver. Training is the backseat passenger. All right, so I'm going to say again, diet for weight, exercise for shape. Cool. All right. Slightly longer than I expected, but all good. So this has been helpful and you watch this back, and you want the file with all the best posts in it, just comment below, file, and I'll make sure I get it to you. All right? Talk to you soon. Oh, is sleeping more? So really good question. So is sleeping more than just more so just so you don't eat? Well, yeah, there's a couple of things that happen. People that stay up later are often likely to have more time to eat. So they end up eating 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Yeah. So that's number one. Number two, sleep also impacts your hunger hormones. So ghrelin being the principal one. And it's very clear that when someone gets low sleep, then they're likely to overeat the next day. So sleep is like magic. Like if I'm working with a client, one of the big things I want to see is that they're sleeping properly. When they sleep properly, they generally start to eat properly. So, yeah, sleep is the foundation of everything, everything. Like hormonal repair, mental repair. I can't, I can't emphasize enough how important sleep is to you getting the results that you want. Simple as that. Cool. All right. It's been a blast. I hope that was useful, ladies, and I will see you when I see you. Talk soon. Bye.